The 106.6 in the heart of Monsell, on the community show with Karen and Charlie. I've just been joined by our lovely guest, Charlotte Hughes.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in, Charlotte.
Thank you for having me.
I know you've been a bit going round in circles in a taxi out there, haven't you?
Yeah, trying to find you, but we got here in the end.
We always have that problem, don't we? I just say, look for the big canopy on Oldham Road and head towards that. We're just to the left of that.
I call it the spaceship.
Yeah, looks like that, doesn't it? Now, you're here to talk about your appeal, aren't you, love? It's basically raising awareness for cervical cancer.
Yeah.
Are you trying to lower the age limit on which women are routinely offered smear tests?
Yeah.
Which at the moment is, I believe, 25, is it?
Yeah, 25 women are screened.
Because tell us what happened to you.
Well, I was 20 when I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. I didn't know anything about smear testing or the symptoms. I ended up in hospital. When they found the tumour, it was the size of an orange, which I had to have radiotherapy and chemotherapy straight away. So that's gone on for the past 5 years.
So how are you feeling at the moment?
I'm doing good at the moment. Your scans are looking good, so...
Oh, good. Because it's quite... What's the survival rate? I was just going to ask, for once you've actually had cancer.
Well, it depends on all the stages of the cancer when you catch the cancer, so it depends on the individual person, on the survival rate. And
so you being quite young, have you got a better chance at, the survival rate once you get it kind of thing?
Well, when they caught my tumour at the time, they couldn't just remove it. I had to have treatment, and then which followed by operations and more chemotherapy. Yeah. And I got told once you get to 5-year mark, that's basically it. Where to me, high five to me, because I've beat the 5 years, I've beat the cancer. So I think if you just have a positive attitude and you fight for what you want, fight for your life,
which you did,
and you eventually you stand proud in the end.
Blimey, because it's quite a thing to go through at such a young age, isn't it? And most people are dealing with just coming out of college, uni and stuff like that, and you've had to sort of fight cancer.
Yeah, I mean, well, my life was just starting at 20. I've got a young daughter who keeps you going all the time, so my life was just starting. Nail technician career, just passed as a nail technician, and I got diagnosed, so everything just goes on hold. Your life just goes in pause. Yeah. So so going back, did you feel like there was something wrong with your body? Did you just know, or did you think, oh, I better have a smear test? Well, I didn't know anything about smear test. I had the symptoms, I was visiting my GP, and then in the end, I got sent to the hospital because the pain, the discharge, the bleeding that I had was just out of control. Right. Which I did, as I said, I didn't know anything. The symptoms, I didn't know it related to cancer. I didn't know anything about a smear test. So sometimes I kick myself and think if I knew myself, then I could have asked.
And how long did you have these sort of symptoms for? Because don't you, when something's wrong with your body as a woman?
Well, I had the symptoms for a good year.
A year?
Yeah.
Blimey. Did you feel scared at that point, or did you...
Well, it was just a big shock to end up in hospital and just be told you've got cancer. Yeah. That was just the shock of it all. Didn't expect that question to come at all.
And did you go to your doctor with any of the symptoms at all?
Yeah.
And what did he say? What was the reaction? Nothing. Right, okay, fair enough. We probably can't talk about for legal purposes, right? No, it's fair enough. So what can women do to recognise the sort of symptoms? Like you said, there was discharge and...
There was bleeding. There's a numerous list of symptoms, really. There's bleeding, there's discharge, there's bleeding after intercourse.
Right, okay.
Hurts while you're having intercourse, abdominal cramps, pains. I had one symptom where I had a swollen leg, which that doesn't come up on a lot of symptoms when you do look it up, which I did. My leg was swollen, my foot had swelled up, things like that. So just be aware of the symptoms. And I think the earlier you catch the symptoms, not saying if you've got these symptoms you've got cancer, just be aware of it, because the earlier you do catch the changes in your cervix, the less treatment, the less stress you're going to go through.
If smear tests had been available at a younger age, you wouldn't have had to go through all that, would you? No. Your life would be totally different.
No, yeah.
You're so lucky still to be with us.
I know, very lucky. I still suffer day to day with pain. I'm left with urostomy and colostomy bags for the rest of my life.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I've come here today with a hot water bottle tied to my back with a body brace.
See, these are things you don't hear about You know, it's good that you're actually able to talk about coming through the other side.
Yeah.
And actually still live with the, you know, that.
Because you get through the disease, but then there's still effect after it that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. So that's what I've got to do now, is control with painkillers and learn to just get about in life. And main thing is getting awareness of cervical cancer to women, young women and older women.
Yeah, well, that's the theme of your campaign, younger women you want to target, isn't it?
Yeah.
To try and get that, the age lower to 18, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean...
Well, 18, 20 is 18 to 20 is a reasonable age, because when I was diagnosed at 20, the tumour was the size of an orange. So I asked how long has it been there. They said it could have grown for at least 2 years. So you take me from 20, takes me to at least 18. Exactly. I had my daughter when I was 17, so that just shows changes in my cervix from having a child young.
Right, okay.
So I think from when women are young, because girls are getting sexual active at a young age now, and to be honest, it changes in the cervix. So...
Well, we'll talk about that later, because I don't want to offend Charlie from what I'm going to say, but do you think it's a bit of awareness about men keeping clean down below? Because I've heard there's you get the build up.
Well, you don't offend me, because I have a bath water for men.
Whether you need it or not, we do, yeah. That's why you sit at the other end of the table. But so it's all down to
that's where
isn't it?
Well, that's where the HPV comes into it, because say the HPV can be a link in cervical cancer, you know. So I think
I've heard that. Yeah,
it scares a lot of people. And I don't know on that side. I wouldn't like to comment and say cleanliness or whatever, but
it could be a factor.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
We could ask Dr. Chris about that.
Well, we will.
And keep being protective as well when you're having intercourse. That's the main
use the
part
condoms
as well.
And barrier methods, especially, definitely.
That's the main thing.
Do it with your clothes on.
Yeah, do it the Catholic way. Don't do it at all. Well, I didn't start till I was very late teens, but yes, I had a repressed childhood. Talk about a campaign, Charlotte's Shining Star. Now, we're just going about your symptoms and stuff like that, weren't we? We've got like tools now, the sort of NHS Direct. Because you've had a lot of young ladies contacting your site, haven't you, with symptoms, you were saying just in the break before.
Yeah, there's been a time where I've had to give the NHS helpline over to a young lady who had the symptoms, who's been going to a GP numerous times. So I just said to her, you can't do yourself any harm by just phoning this number and speaking to a professional over the phone. Because
what concerns have these young ladies been having? Is it the case that the doctors have just been turning them away or not referring them for smear tests because of their ages? Yeah,
it all boils down to the age, So
that's sort of age discrimination, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think we could get away with that in this day and age, really. But should we get Dr. Chris on anyway? He's just waiting on the line, just see what he thinks.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Chris. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're just talking about Charlotte's campaign, Charlotte's Shining Star, and this disgusting sort of this scenario where you've got a girl going to a GP with symptoms, and they sort of been. I mean, I can't talk on behalf of all the cases, but they seem to be turned away because of their age. Even got these drastic symptoms. Yeah, is that the case? What's happening?
Well, you've got two issues there. If a girl goes to the GP and has got symptoms, now the early symptoms of cervical cancer are bleeding after intercourse, bleeding between periods, and then in older women, bleeding after the menopause. Okay. Now, on top of that, you might also have a discharge, vaginal discharge, that might be offensive and runny. Now, if you've got those symptoms, you won't get a smear because you need to be referred as soon as possible to a gynecologist, because you need more than a smear.
Right, okay.
You need to be investigated fully.
Yes, no, that's a good point that you make there, because it's obviously getting a bit more advanced at that stage if you've got the severe symptoms, isn't it?
Yeah, well, even mild symptoms, like the ones I described, are a warning sign. You can't ignore them. You must go to your GP. If he doesn't refer you, dig your heels in and ask to be referred to a gynecologist. Now, for a smear, I mean, people must keep in mind the smear test is really, it's not aimed to detect cancer. It's aimed to find cells that are abnormal that could turn to cancer in maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's detected before the cells become cancerous.
Because you can get sort of... I mean, I've had a smear myself and I've had abnormal cells and I got sort of referred again. There was no treatment, luckily, but if that had been picked up and it had got more advanced, you know, I was starting to panic and I only had these... I think it's called disco. I can't pronounce.
Dyscariosis.
Yes, I had mild. I can't even say it now. Mild dyscariosis. Yeah. So, and I was getting really worried about that. So I can't imagine what Charlotte must have gone through, knowing that she's got a tumour the size of an orange. You know.
Well, I mean, you know,
at that age. So
Charlotte's story is just horrendous. It really is. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi. You okay?
Is Charlie there as well?
He is.
Oh, hi, everybody.
We're all here. We're all here. All friends together.
Yeah. No, but I mean, Charlotte's story is terrible, and obviously she feels, you know, very upset about all this, and of course that's why she's got her campaign running. And women have got to do this. You know, they've got to stand up and shout and be counted.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that really frustrates me, look, I've been a doctor 40-odd years, and I just cannot believe that only in England can you not get a smear under the age of 25. You can get it in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and, you know, we know lots of women, Charlotte does and I do, lots of women who have got, abnormal cells, but more importantly, have got cervical cancer and they're under 25. And just let me tell you, the one really shocking piece of news, and your listeners will probably not believe this, that if your GP does a smear on you and you're under 25, when that smear test gets to the lab, they check your date of birth. If you're under 25, your smear is not examined, it is put in the bin.
Now that is disgraceful.
It's never checked. So that poor woman would never know whether she's got abnormal cells or gross cancer cells because the slide is never examined.
Now, I don't know about what Charlie thinks, but I think that's absolutely disgusting and very wrong.
I agree. And the thing is, if you go to a doctor and you have some tests done, if there's something wrong, you expect them to ring you back, but you're never ever going to know if there's anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it would... You know, I mean, even if they just had a quick glance, you know, and said, you know, no obvious abnormalities, at least that's reassuring, you know. But, and, you know, and what I'm trying to do is to collect cases from around the UK, you know, of women under 25 who have, you know, have got, you know, cervical cancer or severe abnormal cells. What does concern me, in fact, is that, you know, women in this age group are really in, I would call it medical limbo. They're too late for the cervical vaccine, which is given to, you know, schoolgirls, and they're catching up to the 18-year-olds now. Yeah. But they're too old for that, and they're too young for a smear.
So they're sort of, like you say, they're in limbo, aren't they? So is this the HPV pill that,
no,
is it like an injection?
Yeah, the vaccine is HPV. That's the virus that causes over 90% of cervical cancers.
But like you say, with the schoolgirls, there is a vaccine. Is that, how widespread is that now?
That's been pretty successful.
Right.
I mean, I don't know the exact figures, but, you know, it must be, I don't know, 70-75% of girls have been vaccinated against it. But, you know, okay, that's fine, and they're going to be protected, you know. Hopefully, you know, they might have to have a booster jab in the future. We don't know yet exactly what's going to happen there. But, you know, it's those women now under 25. I'm actually also very worried about women aged 25 to 30 who they're getting their smears, and, you know, abnormal smears and cervical cancers are picked up in them that could have been picked up earlier if they'd been smeared before they were 25.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, definitely. So I know girls are having sex a lot earlier, sort of in the, you know, when they're at school. So to me, it does make sense that they have the vaccine when they're at school.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't have to go through all the smears later on in life. So do they still need to have a smear, even though they have this vaccine?
Yeah, well, of course, but they won't get it till they're 25. You know, this is the frustrating thing.
No, I see
and when you look at that, if you look at the incidence of HPV virus in the population, the biggest group that have HPV are women aged 20 to 25. And also, if you look at, we know girls are having sex earlier. and more partners. I mean, you've got an increase in sexually transmitted infections, an increase in, young women becoming pregnant, you've got the surge in this HPV infection. I mean, it doesn't make sense not to allow these girls to have a smear, especially when we're the odd ones out in the UK.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to add up at all, does it?
No, it
this
doesn't.
policy, because it doesn't link up at all. Because if they're giving girls at school the vaccine, then they're admitting, the health people are admitting that there could be a problem. So and then not to be allowed
to then
people
abandon them.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't seem right.
Us.
Yeah, it just seems very strange policy, put it that way. I mean, for the sake of a £30 smear test, imagine how much money the NHS would be saving in treatment, and then treatment if cancer comes back,
Yeah, well, I mean, look what you've gone through, all that treatment would have cost a fortune to the NHS.
And the operations and so on, and the scans. I would have had a smear test, it probably prevented all of this.
Yeah. So you both got your separate campaigns. I know you've got a campaign as well, Dr. Chris, haven't you? Do you want to tell us more about that one?
Yeah, well...
And then we'll get on to Charlotte's as well.
It's just, obviously to raise this issue that I believe strongly, and 91% of women believe they should have smears available under the age of 25. So most women are wanting it.
Not getting it.
Most doctors want it. 3/4 of the British Medical Association called for the smear age to be dropped down to 20 from 25. So it's not a crank issue. A lot of people are, believe very strongly in this. So what I've done is I've been involved with this campaign over a few years. I went to Downing Street about 18 months ago, handed in a huge petition, met the health minister 3 times, privately, got nowhere at all. But, we've got to keep hammering the government with these petitions because it raises the awareness in the public's eye as well. So what I've done is I've launched a campaign called Too Young to Die. Now, if you go to the website, the best way to access it, is www. And when you do Too Young to Die, just put a hyphen between each word.
Okay, right.
Too Young to Die with hyphens, .co.uk. And then you'll get some background on this story. And, obviously, Charlotte's helping me, I'm helping her, and we've got to get all the other women like Charlotte across the country really together now as one big body and get these regulations changed.
It's about sisters doing it for themselves, which is the song we played in the first half of the show.
And if there's anyone else out there going through the same thing, then get in touch with us and we'll put you in touch with Dr. Chris.
We will, definitely.
Yeah. Great idea, Charlie. I need that. I need anybody under 25 who's had just abnormal cells or cervical cancer, or if they know of anybody, Charlie and Karen, you got my contact details.
Yes, we have.
Tell them I'll be in touch with them. I will contact them directly, as soon as I get their information. Yeah,
because you were talking about another lady, Claire Everett, who was only 23 when she died of cancer, cervical cancer.
Yep.
So that's another sad story that we shouldn't have to be reading about, really.
Yeah, well, you know what? In the past 3 weeks, I've got 23 cases like Charlotte's and like this girl Claire. This girl Claire came from the northeast, where I come from, and I went up to her funeral. It was horrendous.
Oh no!
Yeah, pink coffin, 2-year-old son without the mother now.
Oh,
everybody everybody very angry. Very angry at the Department of Health and the regulations.
Very much.
It's not fair. We need we need this law changing.
Have you had Charlotte on this morning as a feature?
Oh no, but I mean, I've asked Charlotte would she come on, and she said yes, didn't you?
I'll sure be there.
Hey, we'll arrange it, don't we?
Oh yeah. I mean, you see, the thing is, we've done a lot of cancer on this morning. The past 4 or 5 weeks has been cancer. So they actually want the break because I tried to get it on this Tuesday, and they said yes, and then they backed off, saying no, we'll have to lighten it a bit, get some different topics. So it's going to happen, and certainly, Charlotte knows I'm going to ring her. She's got my number. She'll nag me as well.
No, I'll be in touch.
To be pestering you. But yeah, I mean, it's good that you get the publicity out there. I mean, we've all got different passions out there. I mean, mine's Sure Start at the moment. We're trying to keep funding for this, that, and the other. And there's so many pots of money that everyone's trying to keep, and it's hard. But health should come top of the agenda.
Well, of course it should. And people are too young to die, and it's some tragic stories. It's so upsetting for the sake of a few
£30.
I mean, it's nothing, is it?
£30 compared to thousands of cancer treatment that Charlotte's had to go through.
Too young for a smear test, but not too young to get cancer.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. You've lost your womb, and you've lost your hair,
my bowel, my bladder.
Really?
That's got a urostomy and colostomy bag, so that's removal of my bowel and my bladder.
No one should have to go through that, woman, man or child.
Chris, for any women out there, I mean, women over 25, I'm talking about now, that have got a letter from the doctors to go and have a smear test, it's not painful, is it?
Well, no. The thing is, actually, it's a lot easier now. I mean, we used to use metal instruments to open up the vaginal walls.
Big forceps.
Sorry?
They're like big forceps.
Yeah, that's right.
It's big, scary.
Almost like a crocodile mouth. But and they were made of stainless steel because they were very cold. Now we use plastic disposable, right, instruments, so you don't feel anything. And also we used to use a thing like a long lolly brush to scrape the cells off the cervix. We don't do that now. We use a fine brush. So you don't feel the things that we felt previously with smears. And it's not a painful procedure. Just it's a bit it's not very dignified lying on your back with your legs in the air. But
in stirrups.
Well, you're not in stirrups. You just your knees are up and you've got to drop your legs apart. But I mean, well, you do that when you deliver. But when you think that's the only way to get a direct look at your cervix and get those cells off to be examined in the laboratory.
And it's 5 seconds of your life, and it could save your life.
I always encourage my mum to go and have a smear test when she gets a letter. I don't know if she does them anymore, but I always encourage her to. I know my sister never goes. I mean, she just ignores the letters when she has to go. But girls should go. And we want it for younger girls, so everyone can have a chance to live. Because as you say, Chris, these girls are just too young to die.
I think I'm due for one because I moved house and I've not contacted my local hospital.
Oh, you have to get on to
I know, I'm just getting worried now myself. See, these are things you forget, though, in the course of your life, because everyone's so busy, but, you've just got to put your health at the forefront.
What would you fear, cancer or a smear?
Exactly. Hey, you've got the slogans, girl, haven't you?
My niece is 14. No, she's not 14 now, but she's been sexually active since she's been 14.
Right.
She's 18 now. She's got a baby. So I worry about her. I mean, she's got another 7 years before she'd be able to go and have a smear test. But I really do worry about her because, it's
especially after knowing this, though.
She's been having sex since 14, so she is at risk, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, in the States, the guidelines the doctors follow there are that you should have your first smear within 3 years of starting sexual activity, or the age of 21, whichever is the earliest.
Right.
And that's, sound advice,
Definitely.
But, we're out of step to, the rest of the civilized world.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got to change it, Charlotte.
Oh, we will do. Don't worry about that one.
I'm sure
That's right.
Well, thanks a million for talking to us today, Dr. Chris, and good luck with your campaign, Too Young to Die.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye, Charlotte.
Bye,
Karen. Bye, Charlie.
Bye. Cheers. Take care.
Bye.